part one of my recap of the Dr. Phil interview, I went over Dr. Phil's interview style and why I feel, in my opinion, it was a terrible idea to go on that particular talk show. It's because Dr. Phil is way too smart, and he calls and sees through all of the BS. And they definitely walked into a lot of what I call sequential traps. But now I want to talk about some of Brené's responses because they don't hold up, as expected. But also, it's very important to point out the behavior, the patterns that we see, because those patterns are going to show up time and time again in perpetuity until she decides to finally stop talking about this. When that'll happen, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But for some reason, I feel like there's no end in sight. Let's start with the inappropriate videos. Brené starts out by claiming there were 2 inappropriate videos that were shown in court, and then immediately starts reframing the version of events. She says that she was drunk. She doesn't normally drink. She's not an alcoholic, and she was speaking gibberish. Now, that wasn't true. She wasn't speaking gibberish. She was speaking English. We understood what she said. If what she meant was that she was slurring her words and that she sounded drunk, she should have said that, but that's not what she did. She implied that what she was saying was nonsense, nonsensical, gibberish. You wouldn't understand her. It was too incoherent. Then Dr. Phil asks her what she said, and then she told us in English that she said, I was saying stuff like I couldn't wait to be Mrs. Montague, which I am now. And yeah, that's basically what she said, but she was drunk and she didn't mean any of that. That's narrative steering. But seriously, tell me in the comments why you think she has this compulsive need to always throw that jab, which I am now. She did it again much later in a live that she was conducting where she said, she is Miss Montague and I'm going to be Mrs. Montague. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the tone I read. But why does she do that? Like, why is there this inherent need to flex that? Like, it's already done. It's tacky. Then she describes the second video in which she says that while she was brushing her teeth in their bathroom, Akira and Tim's bathroom, he came up behind her. And then she pauses for effect as if that's supposed to mean something. It doesn't change what happened then. She then says she did a little dance. Somebody said this on a live panel, and I have to agree. She acts as if she was doing like La Macarena, right? So this. That's not what she did. She was gyrating and twerking on a married man in a married woman's bathroom. That's not a little dance. She's doing it again. It's narrative steering. I'm trying to minimize my behavior and strip it of its gravity because I just did a little dance. And she's banking on the fact that you've never seen that video so that she can reframe this as something innocuous and innocent. And he came on to me. I was just doing a little dance. It's kind of like saying it's not my fault that he bumped into my twerking butt. In this case and in this environment, it is. Because what were you doing in that bathroom with him? You were also married. Just want to point that out. And here's what she leaves out entirely. You see, there was a third video shown in court that day. There was one of her laying on Tim's chest. That is also on the internet. Feel free to scour. She is laying there. Tim is obviously in the frame, and Tim's dog is at the foot of wherever they are. I think they were on a couch. She was not drunk in that one. No, she was sober, but that doesn't suit the narrative, so we don't mention that one. Then she says something that honestly surprised me. She claims later on in the interview that she has never done anything to humiliate Akira. Never. And that honestly nobody even knew who Akira was. There is plenty of evidence in the online record to dispute that. There is video footage of you on lives talking about Akira and Tim's marital problems. There is footage of you taunting. There is footage of you saying that you know you make her uncomfortable and you find that hilarious. You were speaking, you were overstepping left and right, just discussing things that you really had no business talking about. And yes, we do know who Akira is because your incessant need to vlog in her home around her kids and around her husband made her known on the internet. So I struggle with that. Also, there is enough evidence out there for a prosecutor to determine that you were worthy of cyber stalking charges. So, you've done some things. A line that she said also stood out to me. She said, just because somebody files something doesn't make it factual. What? That if somebody is filing something and it is vetted and then it is presented to a jury of your peers and then that jury finds you liable based off of that evidence, That is factual. That's how the system works. I don't understand. I don't understand this logic. And furthermore, if something isn't factual, you would explain why it's not factual. But instead, you just say, don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you smell. Everything your senses is telling you and everything you are ingesting on the internet. Don't believe any of it. What I'm saying is truth, because I walk in my truth. Here's the thing, though. Your truth is how you feel. And you feeling justified in your actions doesn't make your actions justified. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. She consistently fell apart. And you know what? Honestly, it's not about calling somebody a liar. It's really not, okay? It's just, it's very classic what we're seeing her do. She minimizes here, she omits there, she replaces facts with feelings, and that's how unreliable stories are built. Dr. Phil didn't feel the need to argue with her. He just let her talk. And like I said before, when you let a distorted story breathe, it starts to smell like the bullshit it is. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading. Don't forget to follow. In this last part, we're going to break down Tim's statements. I'll catch you in the next one.